questions.
Davante, Detroit was always a team you played very well against in Green Bay. Does that translate it over to the game Monday? And do you feel like you'll have a strong game with them?
I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't set up. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out and have a big game against them this time. That was a different team, different year, different players. I'm a different player than I was then. So, I mean, nothing's set up. But if we do the right things, definitely can go out and have a big game.
Is it harder to play a team when they're coming off a big loss like that, and they're more motivated maybe?
I mean, sometimes it is. Once again, I don't think that that's really like a big signal for anything. At the end of the day, we still got to do what we got to do, and it can mean something for that team negatively or positively. So for us, it's just worrying more about what we got to do to execute versus whether or not they'll have momentum or a lack thereof going into this week.
How much of a lift, if any, Davante, does having Jimmy back help this offense?
For us right now, it's about working with whoever's in there. But definitely having Jimmy, somebody that's he's had the most experience with this offense so far of any of the other quarterbacks. So it definitely does something for us, and had a good practice today, and definitely excited to have him back in the lineup. So we'll go out there and try to make the most of every opportunity we get.
Going into the season, we asked you so much about your relationship with him. You spoke highly of getting to know him as he was recovering and stuff. And now you've been through a few games. You've had some ups and downs. How's your relationship with Jimmy kind of progressed?
Still good. I always say Jimmy, he's not perfect. Nobody is, and he's done all the right things to make it easy playing with him. As far as in the meeting rooms and taking accountability. There's been a couple of times where I've taken some shots, and everybody's seen that, and the way he talks about it with me, it makes me feel a lot better after it. And, it's not something that he's out there trying to do, but we just got to make sure we're taking advantage of every opportunity to do it the right way, so we can continue to build that relationship. It's not easy going out there, especially like I said, without the reps that I had with Derek going into the season. There's definitely an adjustment and something to get used to, but still looking forward to building.
As far as the offensive struggles go, is it too simple to say you should be more aggressive? Is that something to look at in terms of what you guys can do better going forward?
That's definitely a piece of it, but a piece of it is just executing the call. It's obviously something we can do to put ourselves in as best of positions as possible, but at the end of the day, we can't make excuses about the call. We're playing a similar brand of ball as last year, just executing at a much lower level, and that's something that we can do as players, and definitely things they can do as coaches to help us and put us in better positions, but we're all working at that together.
How hard is that to accept that you guys aren't executing at the same level?
It's frustrating, but it is what it is. You gotta do something about it. You can sit there and cry and complain about this and that, but at the end of the day, that doesn't make you better as a team and come together as a team to be able to fix it. So you just got to be solution oriented and not just complaining and crying.
When there have been rough offensive weeks this season and you want to get into the film room and kind of critique it, how do you make sure that a week like last week isn't just kind of the same thing that we're hearing from other bad weeks, and that it rings more true, I guess?
It's a great question. That's what we're trying to figure out, and it's just about accountability from every single person in this building. I got to say, I got to make that play in the end zone, and I got to truly feel that way and do something about it the next time. And we got to take care of the ball better, and it's just a series of things that we have to make sure we hone in individually to improve. If everybody takes that burden and that responsibility serious, then that's when things flip around, and you have times where the Raiders a few years ago won those 5 games to get into the playoffs, and so all you need is an opportunity to get in the show, and at that once you got a chance at it, we long ways from that right now. We still building, but that's the idea, so that you can in essence turn it around.
Is it more frustrating because when you look around, like, why are we in this position right now, considering the talent that's here?
Yeah, that's why I'm frustrated every week, and that's why you see the frustration after games. It wouldn't be the same if we had not a good staff and we didn't have a good roster, but we have that. So we just got to figure out what it is to what to run that best suits what we're doing, and anytime whatever's called, we got to go out there and find a way to make it work. And that's what we did last year, and we didn't win every game, but we were much more efficient on offense than what we are now. So more people can lock in on ways to fix it and fix their part, and the whole thing will come together.
When you look at the tape, is it as complex complex, or do you kind of see the answers there on it?
Yeah, we see it. It's just about doing it. I mean, football is not about how good you are. It's about how good you play. So when you have the opportunities, you get that one-on-one. Sure, you can say on paper, 17 is supposed to beat this guy, but if I don't do it consistently, well, then we got a problem. Yeah, we want certain matchups, but when you get them, you got to do something about it. You get zoned. You got to be able to adjust. Part of what we do. The coach's job is to give us the looks that we are anticipating throughout the week, and that's just one of the ones. Like it's to try to give us the best opportunity to go out there and see what the game is going to look like. And a lot of times it's not going to be that because they're just giving you what the numbers say. They don't say that they got to do the same thing every time. So, our part as players is to go out there and make it work and assess what the coverage is and find a way to make every play work. We have good plays, but you got to make sure we have good execution.
And not to point any fingers, but isn't that true right on down the line to whatever position we're talking about?
100%. I mean, it's from every position in the building. I mean, the general manager, the head coach, the strength coach, everybody plays a role in this thing. And, obviously the players play the biggest role. So that's why I say at the end of the day, I'll never sit here and point fingers and say, we got to call better stuff. We got to, have this or we got to have that. At the end of the day, when the play comes in, it's time to do something about it. And that's how football goes. You don't get to call plays and you don't play.
Good. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.